What's going on, cronies? Cat Burglar here, back with another video. Happy Thursday to you. Gonna recap kind of what we did yesterday. We crushed it, 4-1 on our picks. The only reason we didn't go 5-0 is because Naz Reid tipped in the ball, and they had to give it to the closest Golden State Warrior player, and it was Draymond Green. That's how he got to 10 points, which go back and take a look if you didn't watch the game. It was kind of crazy. But anyways, that stuff happens for you sometimes and against the other times. And that bucket that they gave to him was the reason, instead of him having 8 points and going under, he had 10 and it went over. So we were really, 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 really close to going 5-0, guys. But we'll take 4-1. Still a good day. Been doing pretty well with the picks overall. Even my picks outside the lock and loads have been doing fairly well for you guys as well, which does not happen a lot, but I am working on those and trying to get better at those as well. So hopefully I can share more and more of these types of picks. So, all right, let's get into the game today. Only one game today. Should be a good one. Oklahoma City versus Denver. This series overall has been really, really good. It's kind of been back and forth, hard to get a feel for it. Oklahoma City's just got a lot of talent. And it's just been, Denver was up at halftime last game, but ended up, losing by like 10 points or more. So it's just interesting how the series played out. I really, to be honest, haven't had a real great feel for it. What I am playing tonight is Jokic over 28.5 points, and here's why. It's a closeout game. It's at home. I just think he's going to play really well. He seemed to get his groove back last game. I think he had in the 40s. I think he goes over this. So, again, I think it's up a point from 27.5 last game, but I think still he goes over it. I mean, they're going to go into him as long as he's hitting shots. He should go over because he's going to get shot attempts. So that's my thought process on that. Jokic over 28.5. That's my only play for today. Let's take a look at tomorrow's game. Boston, New York. Obviously, Boston crushed. It was a bounce back game for them. I liked Boston yesterday. I said that it was not a play for me, but we did cash the over fairly easily. Right here in this game, looks like it's open at 2.5, 2.5 across the board. Opened at 208.5. It's up to 210 some places, 209.5. And I think a lot of that's because of basically because of the last game and how high it was. It's more of an open game with Tatum out. I know it's hard for people to believe, but with Pritchard in there and whatever, it's more of an open game. Pritchard doesn't have the size as Tatum, so he doesn't bog up things as well on defense. I'm leaning here, New York. I actually really like New York. I like it so much that I'm not going to give it as a play early because I need to think about it a little bit for tomorrow. And also, 2 seed line movement. Boston really beat up on New York last game. The question is, has Boston found something without Tatum? And I know it's hard to believe, but they may have. And I know their backs were against the wall, and New York came off that big game. And, obviously Boston had to win that or the series was over. So now I think the pressure is really on New York because if they lose this game, I'm not sure they're going back to Boston and winning. It's not, I said this yesterday, it's not like Boston doesn't have anybody with Tatum. Porzingis, Brown, White, Pritchard, Cornette, Horford, the list, Holiday, the list goes on. They have a good team. And they have a team that could beat New York and a team that could beat the Pacers without Tatum and still get to the NBA Finals. I don't think they can win the NBA Finals with the team they have now, but I think they could definitely get there. So, would it be a shock if they won tomorrow night? No. So, anyways, that's what I'm leaning. I'll have official play on it tomorrow. but I'm just kind of waiting for a few indicators. Like I said, the line really hasn't moved that much, so I want to kind of wait for that. So tonight in the NBA, Jokic over 28.5. Let's keep it rolling, guys. And I am going to go a little bit into the WNBA, like I said yesterday. The lines are all up for tomorrow. The season starts tomorrow with 3 games. And it looks like Saturday there's 3, and then, it just keeps going, a couple on Sunday. So, it's a full weekend of WNBA, which is really cool. What I'm looking at so far in these games is I got to see how they play. But Kelsey Plum over 21.5 points. Kelsey Plum over 21.5 points. I just think she's going to get a lot of shots. And I don't know if I said this before, but I have a future on her being the league's leading scorer. Remember, before Caitlin Clark, she was the all-time leading scorer in college basketball. She can really score the ball. I think she averaged 18 last year on a team that was loaded with aces, the league MVP and the league's, leading scorer as well. So she's going to get a lot of shots, and I see her having the chance to be MVP as long as the Sparks do okay, and the league's leading scorer and the league's leader in three-pointers. So the futures on that, as I put 100 on her to be the leading scorer in the NBA. That 100 pays 2,000, and it was plus 500 on three-pointers. So I do have those future bets, and I probably will put a little bit on her to win MVP. So, but right now that's my only play. Kelsey Plum over 21.5 points. This game is a little bit interesting on Saturday. Chicago, Indiana. Now, Indiana has a bunch of new pieces. Obviously, they were good last year, but they got rid of some players and brought some really good players in. The question is, do they mesh all together right away? I don't know. So, one of the things, Caitlin Clark's points is 21.5. I'd go under on that. 21.5 points. I already played that, so under 21.5. I think the reason for that is because they have other players that are going to get shots as well. So I could see her getting 18 and 8 assists, or 20 and 9 assists. But 21.5, we got to look early. The number's going to be inflated on her points. And they got a lot of players that can score. Bonner, Boston, Sophie Cunningham, I think's her name. She can really score too. Lexi Hall, Kelsey Mitchell. There's people that can score. Obviously, at any time, Caitlin Clark can get 50 points. She's that good. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to be looking at a lot of these games. This game has come down quite a bit. Las Vegas Aces versus New York Liberty opened at 5 and is down to 2 at Bet 105 and 3.5. So there's quite a bit of difference there. So definitely be looking at that game, why that line moved down so fast. So all the other lines for the most part have stayed the same, except this Atlanta line has moved quite a bit too. So some interesting line movement there. I'll probably start out with some money lines right away. But I'll let you guys know tomorrow. But right now, Kelsey Plum over 21.5 points. I took that, and I took Caitlin Clark under 21.5. So, all right, guys, let's get this Jokic winner tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow with a really good Boston New York Knicks game and the start of the WNBA season.